Howdy hey. So, Hotline Miami 1 and 2. Game's hard as nails in both the gameplay and the punch to the gut that is its story and tone. Neon lights stained in blood with the most chilling OST I can think of in a game. Well, 1's OST is amazing, and I really think it earns its place in the heart of people who were inspired to make art from its bloodbath. 2's takes that and cranks up its meaning. I guess the way that I can explain it is like a panic attack mixed with the calm before the storm in a way, or after it, I guess. Soothing songs broken up by wild chaos like the gameplay itself. Fast-paced combat with quick jumps back after a death edging you on to keep going, mixed with the calm slow between each stage. From the first game's dark edges and breaching into comfort, broken up by another call. To 2's character moments between groups like the fans' want for fame and understanding their idol, and the chats between the members of the Ghost Souls relaxing between each mission. The songs always feel heavy, but even within these breaks of peace, it's always fleeting, almost. Both games honestly live rent-free in my mind, from being my all-time favorite takes on nihilism and our strive as people for understanding. But, the second one, God, it's probably one of my all-time favorite stories in media, period. I don't think people understand it, and to me, I think that's what it wants. It doesn't want to be understood, just experienced. I remember going back the first time after beating it to see Richard just outright asking me, "You all come back, huh? Why? You all know how this ends, don't you?" Mocking me, the player, under a mask of a jab at the characters themselves. I didn't return for the parts. I returned for the journey to the end, because, I know now. Leaving this world isn't as scary as it sounds. Obvious spoilers for both games, if, Yeah, you have been warned. Enough fluff to what this video is actually about. The OST, the music and stuff. Let's start this off with a bang, how don't we? The menu theme is to the pinnacle of the story, if you ask me. Well, 1's theme, horse steppin', is this like dragged out slog, like you're crashing from a bender, not really fully conscious of what's happening, slowly rottingly dragging you out. Perfect feeling in to capture that story, but 2's theme, Untitled, is hauntingly calm. One of the only truly calm songs in the entire series. Pops in audio sound like drips of rain after a storm, and it gives a somber slowness throughout the whole track. It is soothing, but with that kind of aftertaste of almonds. Calm, but at what cost? The total opposite to horse deck and breaking chaos and buzz, if you ask me. That's to me because, well, this isn't the first song in the placement of the story. I believe it's the last one. You are shown from the start its ending. 1 is a game about thriving in chaos and calling you, the player, out for wanting to understand it, while 2 is this piece about wanting. Throughout the whole story, it's this never-ending want for things. The want of peace, the want of freedom from being able to stop fighting, the want to understand the people that inspire you, the want of, calm. And this freedom and this calm is actually gained. It's not through anything good, it's through the end of the world. There can be no war or hate with nothing. Those things are inherently made from humanity, and Untitled is just that, morbid in the soothing way of death. It has no name, for who was there to name it with nothing left? Peace gained finally, and within the story of Hotline, this is what everyone wanted. It just costed everything. The world, people, life as we know it. There will never be another game like the Hotline series. This cruel and raw take on life, I think Untitled is just kind of the perfect end to everything that was set forth. 1 was made by people down in the dumps, fucked over by life, and the music was crafted by people in that kind of same level of crushing sadness. But I think that's why 2's OST hits different. All of the people have now returned from those places that they were in with actual, views on life that they want to live. We are shown from the start that this is the finale, and this is its hand that's wanting to be played. And it's proud. The game itself is ready to be over, but it's, lagging behind and waiting for you to catch up. But Untitled kind of just ends off as that. It's, peace, comfort, calm. It's the first song because that's what's gained. You work towards it. You watch as everyone else does also. Death isn't the end of the story. That marks you as thinking yourself as the protagonist, but what if there's a story with no one as the protagonist? The story itself is the protagonist. I think that's kind of what marks Hotline Miami 2. I have no idea how to explain it other than it feels more horrid after learning the end. Like, this is it. You've won. At what cost? And even with that, it's horribly calm. The feeling of peace and safety are never fading. And even when you learn, the cost for it, this story will beat you to shit. An uncaring world with uncaring people, but you will always rise up. You will always get up, back on your feet, get to another day. If the world is going to put you down, why let it? This is the first thing that you hear when you boot up the game every single time, showing you what you and all of the characters in the game are even fighting for. This is the, bait on the end of the stick, forcing you to know what's gonna happen. The mask asks you why. Why return? Why fight? Why even care? This song, I think, is the reason why. Because peace is deserved. In a stark contrast to the soothing calmness of Untitled, Dust is a song to me about tragedy and rethinking your actions. The calm after the storm, if you will. The dust settling down around you, as you sober up from the adrenaline and seeing what you've done. With Untitled, it soothes you into this feeling of calmness and freedom. Dust, it doesn't. It's harsh and beating, as your heart's still racing, and you find this air of calming in it still, looming over you, constantly asking you the question, do you like hurting other people? Dust echoes with the beat dragging out and the keys that are repeating over and over again, but it's kind of peaceful in a way. In a sense of winning, you did it, ha ha ha. It's serious because it's coming after, literal slaughters. It goes from this nice kind of peace, but turns around into this, oh god, what have I done? Looking down at blood-soaked hands as you look back upon piles and piles of bodies. You did this, there's no one else to blame. But even with all this, it still feels so rewarding to hear. A gift from the game for getting through, a pat on the back, and a good job, sport. Now get back to the killing, okay? You came here for the gameplay, and that's what the gameplay is, it's killing. Almost as if it's tricking the player into liking committing such a slaughter. Before then snapping at you and calling you out. Totally different from the tracks playing during the gameplay, and keeping that kind of edge to it though. Rotting you down and getting you to move in ways that it wants, like a puppet on strings. But, I don't know. It still kind of is lovely in a way. I don't know. It marks you as not in control, just like the characters itself. And, it's kind of intriguing as a viewer and as a player to feel those things. Fast combat with fast music and death is merely a click away and you're back in. Dust is the kind of track in between for you with the smallest amount of break to truly know what you've done. Before again, back to the slaughter. You are, being played and the game loves to remind you that. But I think that I kind of like that feeling in a video game. Feeling that I, the player, am in someone else's story is always endearing to me. Other games have done it, but I don't know, Hotline does it in a way that's very unique to me. It just, no matter what, it wants to remind you that you're a puppet, it's a string, and Dust marks this kind of pin into making you, the player, unable to rest easy, even during the downtimes of seeing how good you did in a stage. And I fucking love it. It's so haunting, man, and it works so well as this idea. Jacket stands strong as the face of the Hotline games and truly shines as that icon of chaos needed for it. And then there's that Beard. He's the reverse of everything the series stands for and works as the foil in and of itself. In his whole story, the world sits as this nihilistic and horrible place, bringing up horrible people and stopping any attempts of kindness to work. But he stands there, never failing from his view of good, and no matter what, he does what he can to both support and protect others in any way possible. And this story and character is compounded by what I consider his theme throughout the series, the way home. It being used at the climax of his story and showing that he, as the leader, will never back down to give the peace he wishes to live in, for both his men that he's working for and the men that are working under him. He for sure always puts himself into that and never lets himself be pushed down by the world around him. He knows that he's going to try to be brushed away like dust in the wind, and that his mission is a suicide mission, and that it's not one that he should at any way, shape, or form come back from. But he keeps his head held high, and what matters to him is that his men make it back, not him. Pushing through it and ending the song. It's a calm song, filled with flowing emotions, but unlike everyone else's, it's cheerful and optimistic almost. Like it's a march back and seeing off the end of a trip. But in a contrast to the mission, there's nothing like this. You are fighting through something that is literal hell. There's nothing good about this, but for the eyes of Beard, it is to him. It's an ending. It's over. It's all behind you now. Every other character in the series will always see the negative light, seeing it for what it is and where they are. Beard doesn't. In this kind of weird positive to negative thing, he's a foil to it. He's the light in the darkness of everything else. Jacket is the pessimistic outlook of the world and the view of that everything is bad, and in contrast, it's Beard as the optimistic look that there's always something good in life. The light will shine through it all because of the faces you'll remember guiding you to that point. Everything in this game is about the prices you have to pay, what it takes to stay alive, what it means to take someone else's, and most importantly, what does it mean and what does it cost when you don't understand something. But then there stands this song, and Beard is a character that provides the opposite, telling you, the player, that it's gonna be okay, and don't worry about the price, kid, it's on the house. Beard proves everything Richard says in the series is wrong, but they will never, in each other's way, see the outlook of the other. They are the two horseshoe effect kind of thing, the positive and negative end of that outlook. They will never see each other's eyes, and they will always see themselves as right or wrong. I believe that Richard only sees the ending of the game as the end of the world and the death of everyone, that you can't really have a story if there's no characters alive. Well, I believe that if Beard were alive, he would see it as the opposite. He would see it as calm, like, yeah, it's over, but isn't that kind of what we wanted? To say that death is the ending is to assume that this story was about us. We have gotten what we truly wanted, so does the price matter? While this is his theme, I truly think that Untitled was also made for him, and the people who fought to reach the peace. Turning a positive look on something oh so negative is, well, very in character for him, and I think that he would find the calm of the storm basically a proper ending to him. Like, I won, I did it, I didn't save the world, but, there's no peace, there's no more fighting, there's no more war, everything is finally calm. We can rest in silence. And, I don't know, that's kind of beautiful, isn't it? I think that's a good cover of what I really wanted to say, because those are the three songs that really impacted me the most and I always return to. I still remember beating the game for the first time, and literally the first thing I did after seeing the credits was start up a new playthrough, getting called out for it, and kind of being like, oh, you cheeky ass game. But I don't know, I just love this game in a way that I don't think I can love most other stories. Rarely has a game ever grabbed me in such a way that I literally played it again with as much excitement as the first playthrough. If there was any game that I could go back and play for the first time blind, it would probably be like Hotline Miami 2, Undertale, Omori. Those games kind of allowed me to see through the edges of the scripts and really want to understand it. I don't know, it helps that I grew up with a lot of the inspirations for all of the games as a child. I mean, I loved 80s slasher and 80s action movies for the thing of, Hotline Miami's entire existence, and RPG Maker horror games and other kind of old niche internet things for the other two. And it makes me truly happy to see things that influenced and inspired me also affecting and inspiring other people in similar ways. So, I don't know, it makes me happy in that kind of way. If you haven't played the Hotline games, they're so good. They're a classic. They are hard, you will die a lot, and enjoy that. But it's just like, I don't know, I wish there was more games that I could truly just say, yeah, this is truly a piece of art in a way. But I don't know, maybe I'll make other videos about those. Yeah, if you liked it, do the YouTube stuff. Subscribble, likeals, all that stuff. Just leave a comment telling me to, I don't know, do something. But yeah, just as a reminder to everyone, be good people.